Happy Menopause Monday, friends. I am just having an ongoing fight with my computer. It's just as well I'm menopausal, so if I throw it through the window and sound like a mad raving woman, hopefully people will forgive me. So, are you going crazy? I hear so many people say, I don't know what's gone wrong with me. I don't even recognise myself anymore. I'm flying off at the handle. I can't remember anything. I'm stumbling. I'm falling over. It's happened to me too. Although I have to say the flying off at the handle bit, I've pretty much managed to manage that bit. But I've got friends who have really, really, really struggled. And I've seen family members go through it as well. One of my experiences was I was buttering some toast. I was buttering some sandwiches, piece of bread, stick on top of the other piece of bread. And in the olden days, or if you bake your own bread like I do, they're not all square, the slices aren't. And so you might end up with one slightly wonky on top of the other below it, which might be slightly wonky. And because they didn't match perfectly, I literally nearly lost my head because I didn't make the pattern, the shape match. That was menopause. It makes us do the craziest things. And no, you are not losing your mind. I went shopping the other day. I couldn't remember where I'd parked my car. I go to Tesco's all the time. It's just like, where the heck is it? I literally and truly, I could not remember where I'd parked my car. I find my reading glasses in the fridge. I find weird things all over the house. Today, I slept badly last night. I was going to pick up a cup of tea off the counter, and I ended up picking up an empty tin of crushed tomatoes. That was a bit of a shock. It wasn't very pleasant. Why do we do these things? It's all largely down to estrogen and our falling estrogen levels. Personally, I think perimenopause is worse than the menopause. Certainly now I'm postmenopausal. Menopause is literally just one day. You're either before symptoms, peri, when your hormones are fluctuating. Menopause is one day, which marks 12 months since your last period, and then after that, it's all postmenopause. But I have found that going into the postmenopausal phase, I've still got brain fog. I think I've got used to being kinder to myself. I have made a few lifestyle changes so I don't get that complete frazzled feeling as much. But perimenopause was definitely the worst for all the symptoms. And it's down largely to estrogen. Estrogen helps us. It helps to create the receptors that pick up serotonin, which is one of our feel-good hormones. And so when we've got declining levels of estrogen in our bodies, the serotonin that's in our body isn't being taken up as effectively. And we need serotonin in order to make us feel better. That's what a lot of antidepressants are. They make the serotonin in our body stay longer before our body would naturally get rid of it. And so when your natural serotonin levels are compromised, it's naturally going to have a depressive effect on your mood. And of course, tie into that the fact that during the menopause, because of all the volcanic eruptions that we have, often our sleep is bad as well. In fact, also, serotonin is the precursor for melatonin, which is a hormone that helps us to sleep properly or sleep better. So if our serotonin levels are low, it follows that our melatonin levels are going to be low too. And melatonin is directly related to our sleep. So you've not only got the fact that we're not feeling quite as happy and skippy as we might normally do, we've also got on top of that the fact that we can't sleep very well, and we're being woken up by all these horrible volcanic eruptions, which is also affecting our sleep. And so no wonder we get to the next day feeling like we've been dragged through a bush backwards and wondering what the heck's happened to us. So also, just to, while I remember, because I'm tired and I have got brain fog seriously today, the hippocampus in our brain, it's not where our memories are stored, but it has it's very involved with memory creation. And the hippocampus has a lot of sensors which are estrogen reliant. So as our estrogen levels fall, it means that we don't you know, we're not quite so efficient at creating our memories or remembering things. So that is another reason why we get brain fog. It is all related to estrogen, falling levels of estrogen, serotonin, melatonin, and our dendrites and neurons, which and the density of the synapses in our hippocampus are affected by falling estrogen levels. So that is why biologically it happens. But compounded on top of that, we've got the fact we have lack of sleep. It's a very tumultuous time of our lives. Children are leaving home. It's that sort of time of life when you question, is this it? Have I done enough? What's going to happen for the next 50 years? Am I going to live another 50 years? And we have there's a lot of conflicting thoughts. You know, what are you going to do if you're a stay-at-home mum and your kids are now left? What happens? A lot of relationships change. The dynamics in relationships change massively. Divorce rates are huge at our time of life because, you know, you've stayed home, you've looked after the kids, your focus has been the children, and then all of a sudden they're not there. It's just you and him or you and her. And what do you do then? So it's a really tumultuous time of life, and I think one of the things that has worked for me the easiest is to make sure my nutrition is pretty much on point. Try and prioritize sleep. I try not to get to bed too late because at least then I know if I've got perhaps 8 hours in bed, it might not all be asleep, but at least it's resting and my eyes are closed. And giving yourself some grace. I mean, this is a stage of life. It's happening. We're lucky to get here. A lot of young ladies do not reach this age. So we've got a heck of a lot to be grateful for. Yes, it might be a bit of a tumultuous time of life, but I think if you can start to look for the positives rather than the negatives, see this as a natural process because it is. Okay, if you're doing the HRT thing, that's entirely, if it's suiting you, brilliant. I didn't want to do that. We have a lot of cancer in our family. And I know there are people out there that say there's absolutely no link between HRT and cancer. There's also a lot of people out there that say there is a link between HRT and cancer. The way I look at it is the fact that menopause, like childbirth, like periods, it's a natural process. So surely we ought to be able to do it naturally. And I think if you have a healthy lifestyle where you exercise regularly to maintain your bone health, your muscle strength, so you don't get muscle atrophy, eat reasonably healthily, so you're supporting your nutrition. The other thing to remember also is 90% of our serotonin, our feel-good hormone, gets created in our gut. So if our nutrition is on point, we're gonna really support ourselves by making sure we create enough serotonin. I know, you know, when an estrogen levels fall, so does our serotonin levels. But why not try and boost what we have available in our bodies by healthy nutrition? Dopamine is another of our feel-good hormones. It's sort of like our reward hormone. 50% of that is made in the gut. So, you know, it stands to reason that if we look after our gut health, we're going to support our hormonal health on so many different levels. So just a few things to bear in mind. I don't want to make this too long, but, you know, brain fog, swinging moods, craziness, those just like 1 minute you can be like Snow White and the next minute you're Cruella Deville because just something's happened and it's just the change of your hormones. All you can do is give yourself some grace, accept the fact it's happening, maybe have a chat to your significant other so that they're on, and your family members so they're on board with it so they can support you. I think a lot of us feel very isolated. It's almost like something we should be ashamed of. We feel like we're a failure because we can't keep it all bottled in, and yeah, it's just, you're just trying to survive every day, and it can be really, really isolating. It can be exhausting. It can be incredibly frustrating, and there is so much conflicting evidence out there. All I share with you guys is what works for me. It's working really, really well. Since I've been teetotal a week today. I started last week again since Christmas, and I know. So before Christmas, I was teetotal for 10 weeks. My hot flashes pretty much went. I only had one a day, which is when I would wake up in the morning. That's probably linked to the spike of cortisol that we naturally have in the morning. It's designed to motivate us to get up and get on with our day. But it was not a bad hot flush. Started drinking over Christmas. Oh my goodness. Whew. It was phenomenal. 5 or 6 a night, really, really hot ones. right the way throughout the day again, really hot flashes, and the only thing I had changed was drinking alcohol again. Now, I've been teetotal, like I said, a week today, and it's falling off again. Thank goodness. I'm still a little bit, I'm still getting a few more than I had before Christmas, but they're way down. I think we all respond differently to different things, but whether it's sugar, you see, when I don't drink alcohol, I don't feel like anything sweet, so it doesn't really trigger me to eat chocolate. Maybe I should try chocolate just to see if it triggers a hot flash. But for me, I know when I'm off the booze, my menopausal symptoms are a lot better. And of course, alcohol does affect how we sleep. So given the fact that serotonin helps us create melatonin, which helps us sleep, when our estrogen levels are falling, we haven't got so much serotonin, so we're not making so much melatonin, so naturally our sleep is going to be compromised anyway, and then of course the hot flashes, etc. And now I've forgotten what I was going to say. There's brain fog for you. It was about, what the heck was it? I think it was about just supporting a health. Oh, that's right. It's come back. Supporting a healthy lifestyle. So making sure, you avoid those foods. Thank you for the heart. I really need them. It's just, I'm really struggling here. It's supporting a lifestyle. It's being aware of what triggers you. We all respond differently. Certainly alcohol for me. Oh, that was the point. Alcohol does affect how we sleep. We don't tend to get that really deep restorative sleep when we've been drinking alcohol, particularly if we've had like more than 2 glasses. I think 1.5 glasses, maybe even 2. It's not going to make too much of a difference. But anything above sort of 1.5 to 2 glasses, you are going to be impacting the deep sleep sessions that you have within your circadian rhythms. We tend to follow like a 90-minute pattern of circadian rhythm, of a sort of sleep cycle, and then we'll do another one and we'll do another one, and as we progress through the night, the amount of time we spend in our deep sleep changes, the amount of time or the percentage of time in each cycle that we spend in our REM sleep changes, and so it's really important that you do get really good quality sleep. So we know that we're going to be compromised throughout while our estrogen levels are falling or they're erratic. So if you can stay off the booze, you're going to do yourself a favor as well. So that's it. It's try and keep off the refined sugars. Try and reduce your alcohol or come off the alcohol. Make sure you're in bed by, I don't know, 10 o'clock latest, so that at least you've got plenty of time to rest and recuperate, even if you're not actually physically asleep. Drink lots of water. That's going to support you as well. And just give yourself some grace. So when those moments happen, when you feel like killing someone, you can just think, okay, it's just the menopause. Deep breathe, take a step back, and then get on with life again. Micro moments too, mini micro moments throughout the day. This is something I do regularly. I slept really badly last night because I was working on a project very, very late, and my laptop kept crashing and it was just driving me potty. I've had to refresh the whole thing, and still it's not quite where I need it to be. So frustrating. But this morning I woke up and I sat on my step outdoors. It was freezing cold. I took a hot cup of coffee, wrapped it all up, and I just listened to the birds bring in the dawn. It was beautiful. Just 5 minutes of peace and quiet, and I did exactly the same this evening. The dusk set, the sky was really, really pretty. There was one star that had come out into the horizon. I just sat outside and literally just a few minutes and just had like a micro moment of just relax and just enjoy space without thinking about anything else at all. And those little micro moments make a massive, massive difference. You don't need to spend an hour in meditation in order to get the benefits of it. I think if you can have sort of 2, 3, 4, 5 micro moments throughout the day, that's even more beneficial than it is in one big sort of meditative or restorative or relaxation session. I mean, you've got to fit it into your life how it works best, but the little micro moments are really easy because you can do them wherever you are. Even if you're sat at the desk at work, if you're able to, if you've not got sort of somebody sat opposite you on your workstation, just close your eyes for a bit, or just go for a walk, or just get out somewhere where you've got just a few moments to yourself so you can breathe, you can sort of detox from everything and everyone, and then you can go back into it. And those titchy little micro moments do help to restore your energy and help to give you a sense of sanity in a very uncertain period of our lives, because it's a tough journey. It's doable, and as you go through into postmenopause, it does get easier. I feel like I'm pretty much there now, so I'm super happy. Thank you for joining me, and if you've got any questions, send me a private message or put them in the comments. And if you've got anything you want me to cover in particular for a future Menopause Monday, again, send me a message, leave it in the comments, and I'll add it to my list. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.